Yeah, man. So what y'all think about the White Lives Matter too? They got a thing. They got a thing going on with They got a thing going on with the police done killed some white people, and they was wondering if the White Lives Matter. So I went ahead and did a little video on it, and I would like y'all opinion. The We Got fans, the Less Than More fans, the FRENZ-R-FOE fans. So I want y'all to comment down below, comment down below, and give me your opinion on should White Lives Matter too. Isaiah had a whole thing on the news last night about it. They talked about it, and I just want to know y'all opinion. So I did a little video. You know, I did it with my little twist, no filter. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just give me y'all opinion on that. You dig what I'm saying? Now let's get to it. You know what I mean? And don't forget, leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. We all we got. Let's go.
Died after being handcuffed and restrained by Dallas police officers. Back in 2016, 30-year-old Tony Timpa called 911 in a panic because he was coming down from his mental health medication. Dallas police body camera footage shows the officers restraining Timpa for about 14 minutes with his face down in the ground. Timpa pleaded with them to let him go, but they just joked and laughed. Now, after a while, Timpa stops moving and the officers begin to make jokes.
Shaking my head, man. These motherfuckers sick, man. You see that? Motherfuckers just joking, dog. Man on the ground, not even breathing, and they ain't even checking that boy. And they making jokes because he kind of talking like, you know what I'm saying, like he's slow. Boy, I promise, man. So, you know, y'all keep watching, man. I'm gonna let it play. Y'all just keep watching, man.
First day of school, come on. Timpa was later loaded into an ambulance, and the officers were concerned about whether or not he was breathing. The paramedics were not able to revive him. The medical examiner ruled Timpa's death a homicide from sudden cardiac arrest related to cocaine use and stress from being physically restrained. The three officers were placed on administrative leave but returned to full duty in April of this year. New body camera video shows the moments after a deputy shoots a homeowner in Greenville, South Carolina.
What ministry hurts?
The deputy was responding to a medical alarm at the home back on June 14th. He claims the homeowner, Dick Tench, with a gun in his hands, prompting the deputy to fire his gun at least 4 times. Moments later, he enters the home asking Tench
where a bullet exited it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get to see that shit, man. These people crazy. I'm telling you, man. We need to stick together, man. We all we got, man. We need to stick together, bro. I'm telling you. Watch this. Why you gonna even see the hole in the boy back? You feel me?
his gun. Tench states he's a registered gun owner and points to the gun behind him. Now, the deputy tells Tench he was responding to an alarm call at the home, but Tench says he doesn't have an alarm. It turns out the call came from a medical app on someone's phone inside the home. Tench was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound to his groin and pelvis. The deputy was placed on administrative leave. Here to discuss these incidents, all involving white men who were badly treated by cops and did not get much attention in the news media, is attorney and radio host Charles Adams and Sherry Dorr of Black Lives Matter Houston. So, Charles, should white lives matter too? Well, because these are high-profile cases where police were behaving badly. In one case, shot a homeowner, white man, and killed another white man. But there wasn't any uproar. There weren't any protests.
Well, I think lives should matter. This speaks to the importance of video cameras, because in both these, the body cams prove that law enforcement was absolutely lying, right?
Now, my problem with that, first thing this boy say is the body camera proves. So if the body camera proves, why ain't nothing happened why ain't nothing happening to these lawmen who killing these people? White, black, Mexican, whatever. The first thing come out of his mouth is the body camera proves that it ain't no racial differences between these shootings. This is what I'm trying to say, man. Why did he say that? Stupid, man. Just straight up stupid, man. Pay attention to the contents that come out of people's mouth, man. Let's get back to this goddamn program.
One thing that's not getting a lot of press is just last week, Michigan State University and the University of Maryland released a study from every fatal police shooting in 2015, 900 of them, and they established, and this was their thesis, these are scientists, right, that there was no disparity and no correlation between the race of the officer and the race of the person shooting, and no police shooting bias against African Americans and Hispanics. Instead, it was tied directly and correlated with.
Man, this nigga just said it again. Scientific facts prove, nigga. What are you talking about, nigga? You say scientists say we was created by monkeys. We was once monkeys. Science say the earth was made with a Big Bang Theory. What the fuck is you talking about? This is what I'm saying, man. Listening to what these people say on these TVs, man. Straight up confusion, man. They bring confusion to us, man. I'm telling you, dog.
Crime in the area. Do we have individual racist cops? Of course we do. But when you look at it holistically, the narrative is that there's this, we've heard it on the show before, that there's this legion of racist cops with this bias, and it just doesn't statistically exist. And the way we solve the problem holistically, cameras capture color, but they're not biased by color, right? And cameras are going to tell the honest story, and which is why we need cameras on every cop. You know, I should have had them when I was a cop. We didn't. They should have them now.
Sherry Dorr, when you see situations like this, white individuals who are either harmed or killed by cops, and they don't get as much attention as some of the other cases involving blacks who are killed by cops. You were Black Lives Matter. That's one of your main concerns. So tell me, why didn't we see much of this? I know you posted some of this, but there was no outrage. There were no protests around the country about.
Okay. The point I'm trying to make right now, what I just heard, that this woman that's the head speaker for Black Lives Matter, Houston. Why do we always get another race, or it always be another race that lead us? You know what I'm saying? That be the head of the organization. Where do we get this shit from? You know what I'm saying? That's like a double-edged sword, man. Pay attention. Let's get back to the.
Correct. Well, first off, it's a common misconception that Black Lives Matter. Period, or Black Lives Matter Houston doesn't step up whenever it's a white individual who's been murdered. We've been very vocal about the totals that were recently murdered back in January, and the officer who still hasn't been charged.
Is it because she smoked Newports? Because this other race woman, she smoked Newports? That's why she down? Or she messed with a black person? I mean, what's the real reason, man? Let's get back to the show.
IRDA. So we've been very, very vocal with that. But I think a lot of cases, the reason why the black community does get so much press is because
Police officers, period. Now, there is clear racial disparities in the war on drug sentencing and in policing for profit, okay? But there's a wholesale refusal to accept that there are scientists that have studied this, and this social warrior brigade that is alleging that there's this race bias in police shooting in America. It's a myth. Police shoot people. Have you even looked at the?
How many black people have you talked to?
Have you even looked? Anecdotal evidence.
You work with the black community.
Okay,
You work with the black community.
Anecdotal evidence does not respond to scientific studies. There's a lot of race disparity in policing, but it's not in discharging firearms. That is tied. See, it's easy to say, oh, but it's hard to read studies. It's hard to look at science. It's hard to talk about facts. And what the Michigan State and the University of Maryland, which apparently we did not read, did an exhaustive study on the race of everybody that was shot.
You are going to be 58% more likely to get stopped if you are black.
I agree with. I just said you're more likely to get stopped.
Correct.
See, it's
If you
easy
are
to
black,
not.
not white.
situation, and you come here with talking points, and you just want to make this argument that's not true. It's not true. Officers, there is disparity. There's race-based disparity in traffic stops.
It's more common
There's
than you
race.
think.
No, I'm saying it exists, but it does not exist in shooting.
Yes,
And
it
the thing, no, it actually doesn't.
Actually does.
There's studies.
Probably.
Okay, so let's hear from you.
No, you haven't read anything.
One of the things you said was that you need to work with the black community to realize what they're going through. Tell me about that.
Well, for one, I mean, we need white people to start stepping up and actually, because black people are not being listened to when we go to the police chief, police union, what have you. So we need white individuals to start stepping up and speaking on behalf of black lives that have been lost. We've got several of them in Texas alone, 3 of them in Houston, where the officers were not, they were given a no bill. And we used to have a district attorney that would just turn her head the other way, Devin Anderson. So we need to start stepping up. We need to start voting. We need to start pressing the community to vote for our DAs, mayors, stuff like that. And there needs to be a real conversation here.
But there are conversations. You have a liberal prosecutor. You need to address, we need more cameras and more accountability, yes, but we need to stop talking about this and start talking about solutions for all Americans.
All right, thank you guys for joining me. Still to come, football great Vince Young is here, and we tell you why in a minute. But first, DJ Sneak. News is brought to you by Star Furniture and Mattresses. Over 200.
You know me, it had to be just right. Finding a bun as good as my chicken was not easy. I mean, I did it, obviously.
I think we've made a lot of progress here. I feel great. Good talk. I'm proud of you.
My new chicken sandwich is buttermilk battered and served on toasted brioche. Try it spicy or classic.